this is my favorite thing ever. And it flew right over Lisa's head. And he's like, I remember you. I have a pornographic memory. And she literally, like, she was like, oh, thank you. I'm like, did you hear what he said? No. Pornographic memory? Like, what the fuck? Like, it flew right over fucking... Yeah.
The Shug, Shane Hollister. Logan, Ineichen. Lyndon, Ehlers. Wrastlin with music and life for life.
Wrestling with Music and Life, episode 49. I want to say something real quick. Man, a lot of news. And the biggest one, I believe, is in pro wrestling, even though we'll talk about music, of course, and life. I just want to say there's absolutely a person who is up against a machine too strong. And he's got no chance in hell of ever coming back to the WWE.
You're not going to know
but before...
But I do.
Well, Vince McMahon's son, obviously, you know that, right?
I was just telling him, I only know that there's some shit going on, but I've not done
literal shit, too.
Literal shit.
Literal shit.
And all I want to say
my God.
is straight up, welcome to this episode. Like and subscribe before we get started because I never say that. And if you can, please leave a comment and tell us that we're the worst that's ever existed. Please. On top of that, so much shit has happened other than, the big news that we'll get into, that we're going to get into that with our boys, Shuggy and Landers here tonight. The real crew is back. The threesome is back.
The triple threat.
All right. Shuggy, how's it been?
Oh, dude. A lot's been going on. I mean, I feel like I could just tell stories like forever right now, but we'll make it short and sweet.
Doesn't have to be, but
yeah, no. Well, there's a lot going on. Like I've been wrestling like way more than I have in a long time.
Good.
I'm feeling it a lot today. Just saying. I don't know if you guys saw. There's there's clips that maybe we can sneak on. This kid. And I know Gringo Loco. I was in a triple threat on Friday for Chicago Style Wrestling. Yeah. So this new kid, he was like, I got there before Gringo did. I'm like, you want to do anything? He's like, what do you think of if you're on the guardrail and I hit you with the suey? I'm like, I'm sitting on the guardrail and you hit me with a suicide dive. Yeah. What do you think of that? Fuck it. Let's go. Dude, and by the way, going into the spot, which you can find on my Facebook, and there's two different angles, like I pull the guardrail forward closer to the ring, and I tell the fans, you might want to get the fuck out of the way. And like some of them, but there's like this one guy from the back shot. He's got a red hat on and a red button-up shirt, and my legs almost smoked his fucking face, and my legs ended up on his lap, and that guy who did the dive was almost like he did a spin wheel kick to his face, but he dodged at the last second. It looks rad as fuck. All right, one of the coolest spots I've been in a long time. We did a lot of cool shit in that match, but that's the one that people are gonna be like, all right, that was fucking nuts.
Dope.
So all right.
Where's this at?
That was Chicago Style Wrestling, CSW.
Okay. Yeah. Look packed.
Yeah. Dude, it was fucking packed as shit. And then, hang on. I got to segue because I wasn't a part of this, but kind of because the Hate Keepers broke up with Conan Lycan and we kicked him out of the group. Oh. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, right? Piece of shit! You're not one of us, motherfucker! If you're not running with us, you better run from us.
He didn't give them an ice-cold beer, so they called him a piece of shit.
So, all right, so the match was announced that he's in a tag match with a guy named Boz, who's going to be his tag partner, whatever. We jumped him in front of the fans, with the cameras on us, and they're like, "Won't you fight him in the ring, pussies?" And I'm fighting so hard to not laugh, just giving him the finger the whole time, this promo's happening. So, anyways, Conan Lycan's in the ring, and like, you know, Shane Boucher, Jay Marsden walk through the curtain, and like apparently Conan goes, "You might want to pull out your fucking phones," and I'm like, "What is this?" Right when Jody J was real close to the ring, just throws a trash can from the ring right at his fucking face. Just fucking smokes him. Right away has the crowd right in their palm of their hand. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? Did he like do like a tope on them both? They're like, no, he just threw a trash can right at his fucking face.
It's time to check out the trash.
Fucking, dude, the show was just on fucking Friday night.
That's awesome.
And then last night, I had a gimmick match, which is like, oh, fuck, we need to have like different shit when you work with the same person so many times, right?
Right.
So we had a kendo stick on a pole match.
Okay.
All right. So the only way you can score a pinfall is after the kendo stick has been retrieved. So anyways, I get it.
Right.
I get fucked over. I get hurt. I get hit with the kendo stick a bunch of times. Long story short, the one time I hit Eric,
Is this the Eric I think I'm
Eric
thinking of?
Asnight. Yeah. So I hit him.
I thought you were going to say Eric
Dude, I hit him and I sold off and like waited for his valet to like cover him. Like that was the whole spot, like to cover him. And then I lifted her up with a pot, like with the kendo stick under her chin and made her walk away. So this is happening, but then I look down at Eric and his fucking ear is just shooting blood out of his fucking ear. Dude, bad, like real bad. And I'm like, oh my God. The only thing I think of is when I hit him, because the kendo stick opens, that it grabbed his ear and pinched it. And dude, I was like, all right, maybe it's not that bad. When the match was over, he ends up winning, right? He goes over, and the whole time I'm like, dude, are you all right? You're all right? And like, we get in the back. I'm like, all right, fuck it. We got to find some super glue or something. I get down there. There's a fucking gap. Missing, gone, like, dude, it wasn't like big, but like big enough,
Noticeably.
You're like, he's gonna walk around like when you have that profile shot, like, oh yeah, his right ear is like somebody took a bite of it, kind of. And I'm like, oh fuck me, like I do.
You got Mike Tyson,
I was like, somebody was like, what if you were to like pretend like you bit it off? I'm like, fuck, I wasn't thinking on the fly, I was just scared, like I was worried about him, you know.
Well, you don't expect something like that from like a kendo stick.
No,
you know?
like,
I've never
dude,
fucked with one, so I'd be really surprised. I'd be like, what did I do?
Yeah, I was like,
say that I do. I do expect that because I literally got a fucking like wood pinched as like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, right. Because it opens up and grabs.
Oh, dude, I was playing with a fucking log.
His log, you know.
I fucking was splitting it. And I was going, oh, and then it just came back and just pinched the shit out of my finger as a kid. I could not go anywhere. Otherwise, get back to the story. But yeah, so shit.
So I go downstairs and somehow fucking Steve Manders on the show, that motherfucker gets color for a living. Just, you know, everywhere he goes.
Nice.
So I'm like, bro, you got some super glue? No. I'm like, what the fuck of all people? You don't have any super glue. How do you fucking keep your head closed all the time? What the fuck are we doing? So like, I was going to glue his ear shut. And then we were going to try to do the butterfly Band-Aid, but it's just so much blood. Like we weren't able to like, I'm like, God damn it, dude. Like I wanted to just like run to the fucking, you know, the closest convenience store just to buy some super glue and glued closed. But
dang.
I felt bad for him. I messaged him today. He still isn't fucking
pro wrestling or what?
I know, right? Fucking A.
By the way, that'd be an elbow deep show.
It's pretty close.
Might be an elbow pretty close.
Pretty close, right?
That's par for the course.
Fucking A. But like I was just like worried about him, and I'm like, dude, I take pride in not like hurting people.
Right.
I actually do. I take pride in being a professional. Like you want to go out there.
Obviously, like people that do that are known to do that by they get a bad
Bad name.
that reputation because you don't fucking y'all want to.
Nobody wants to work with you if you're just gonna hurt people.
Yeah, you want to get hurt when you're planning on it.
Yeah.
Not like shit. Sorry.
It's like, what was it? Like, I was making a joke. Somebody like slid in the ring for something, and they had the chair the wrong way. I'm like, this motherfucker don't know how to work, and he wasn't gonna hit anybody, but he's swinging it around the wrong way, and I'm just laughing. I was like, if he would have hit somebody, that'd have been fucked.
Hurt people.
For the very, very short time that I wrestled when we were all in high school, and I had Lucky jump on my shoulders from the back of Craig's fucking deck and land ass first on my shoulders. I was telling Emily about this morning because she didn't know I'd ever actually wrestled. And I was like, I kind of stopped after that because I felt my lower back compress into a pancake. I mean, Lucky could have broken my legs, my back, and that was a fucking 180 pound man. To say I caught him on my shoulders is ridiculous because he landed on my shoulders and I fell backwards.
Yeah.
I went, ugh, and I felt my back go, and I was done. That was it. I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And that was right before shit started getting really crazy.
Oh yeah, they started doing way crazier shit.
SDW.
Hate the world.
50th episode next week. HCW in the house.
Oh shit,
90 of them.
Bro, I mean, legit though. I wish.
How many of them? They're still alive.
Everybody.
All of them.
Everybody's alive.
Yeah.
And I legit wish. If I can, I'd legit love to get Craig in here.
Oh yeah, dude. I hadn't seen him. I ain't seen him or talked to him in fucking really long time.
HCW retrospective. Yeah, I actually haven't talked to him in quite a while either. But I mean, I've talked to him more recent than anyone else has. I'm sure.
I hate that I'm gonna have to sneak in like what EHW did better though.
Oh, of course. We wrestled on a trampoline, and because we saw you guys wrestling on the ground, we were like, all right, now we got to do that shit. Let's just beat the fuck out of ourselves some more. Why not?
Trampoline, I remember being a kid though, even then, and being like, oh, trampoline seems kind of pussy shit.
Yeah, right. I got to sell this. Like it hurts.
Like, I mean,
I'm gonna be in again today. I would do it again.
I don't want
the trampoline didn't matter.
As a fucking 35-year-old man, I don't want shit to do with a fucking trampoline.
Yeah, all right. So, all right. Like, speaking of segue, I do take my son to the trampoline park, and like, I'll do like random shit, and I'm like, dude, this hurts so bad the next day. Like I wrestled. I was like, why am I doing these flips? I'm fucking 37 years old. I don't even do them in wrestling matches. Why the fuck do I feel like, all right, let's see if I can still do a backflip?
That's like the worst thought that a person in their mid to late 30s can have is to go, let's see if I can still do that.
I know, right?
It's only been 15 years since I did a backflip off of something. It'll be fine.
My favorite is just the giant crash pad, right? But I still was like, all right, let's see if I can do a double. I still get scared. I do the one, and then I'll land with my feet and do the somersault roll. And I'm like, nah, that second one, even if it's a crash pad and I just pencil dive, I'm still scared as fuck.
Dude, I don't even.
You're making me want to play Crash Bandicoot.
I don't even.
With the words.
I don't even.
Let's get back to it. By the way, let's derail this derailed train again, and let's get back to it. Lyndon, what the fuck?
Yeah, this motherfucker's got. Yeah, come on, let's hear it.
See this list. This is all shows for this year.
Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go.
I'm just gonna get that out of the way right away.
Yeah,
because
fuck yeah.
As far as pit lore goes, we have a run at the beginning of March and a run at the end of March.
Well, this is at the end of
5
the
shows.
I don't
know. Well, yeah, we can do it now too, though. But then he goes into we'll tell the story of his latest show he played.
Oh yeah, I think I have. I might have some stories. I don't remember. It's been so long.
He was so drunk. It was awesome.
I've barely had more than 3 drinks at shows.
He was
lately,
3 drinks in and he was drunk.
I definitely perform better when I'm like sober.
I mean, yes, 3 drinks does do it now. But I mean, anyways, so we don't have anything until March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And this is with a band called Illusion of Fate from Madison, Wisconsin.
Sounds super familiar.
Yeah, we've played with them. We played with them at Skylark. That's where we met them. And we just became like best buddies. And March 1st in St. Paul in St. Paul, Minnesota at the White Rock Lounge. March 2nd in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Swamp. And March 3rd we meet up with Yotuma and spewing. And shit, who else? Xenospawn is on that.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Don't talk
March
about that.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
I was
March
hoping you were
3rd.
going to spew Xenospawn.
I'm going to be honest. I hope they play first.
And then you guys don't go to sleep.
And then after that, March 19th at the Village Theater here in town with Empty Graves and Doppelganger and Saint October. And
That's pretty badass.
yeah.
By the way. That sounds like
yeah.
it's
there's other bands on it. I can't remember off the top.
good sounding.
All this
I
is
bet.
on the fucking Pitlord Facebook if anybody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And then March 28th we're going out with Ancient Entities, also from Madison, or Wisconsin.
Yeah.
March 28th at Cincinnati at Legends Bar and Venue. March 29th. That's the only one we don't fucking know, and that's when the gang fucking hate your booking goddamn runs. Is I've been trying to get March 29th in Louisville or Nashville or Memphis.
There you
or
go.
somewhere.
Fucking ruthless aggression.
Holy shit! So, anyways, hopefully Nashville.
Don't become
March
Crispin
30th.
Waugh, please.
March 30th, we're doing St. Louis at the Platypus, and March 31st, Marshalltown, Iowa, and that's Ancient Entities and Frontal Assault.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
And then we have more after that. We have May 4th in Ann Arbor, Michigan with Crocophile.
Crocophile, our boys.
And the rest of the
Slam
stuff we haven't.
what
We
is
don't.
it,
It's not even
Slamzilla?
been announced yet. Yeah,
Slamzilla,
Slamzilla,
brother.
the
One of the
returning.
greatest fucking album names ever and pictures I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
seriously.
The
It's
absolute
fucking
best
awesome.
intro to any album is Crocophile. Slamzilla,
Fuck yeah.
for sure.
If we're talking about music, I want to put this out in the atmosphere. I just talked to Brandon Park for the first time sober last night.
You weren't sober, you lying fuck. The fuck are you talking
And
about?
he said, Oceano, hey, let us know. Dark Riff, we're in the house. Anyway,
What?
Wild the fucking wood.
They are, yeah. They're doing their 15-year anniversary of that album.
About you, Oceano, at all.
Fuck off. Fuck off. You want to play a show with
band's better
Oceano,
than
motherfucker.
I
You
would
want to play a show.
I'd play a show with Ocean.
Fuck yeah, dude.
wouldn't make
Like,
any
Of course I
difference to
would.
me.
I don't know those guys, but I'm better than you guys. I'm literally going to have a six-pack by the time I'm there. You
by the
idiots.
way, the singer, like, if you watch, like, the old videos, he was, like, a chunkier dude. That dude's jacked now. Like, just
All right.
jacked.
Whatever.
He is,
You're
dude.
right. You're right.
He's super jelly.
I feel like
He's not even
you're
on
talking about
TRT,
me.
bitch.
Hey, I know how to spell that. Let me say something before we get into this next really important topic. Literally, probably the biggest news of the entire year.
Oh, yeah.
My man, Vinnie Mac.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm
Literally,
excited about this.
if it's true,
I'm gonna take my jacket off.
Yeah, you might want to.
Left-
Because, like, it's uncomfortable.
we won't get into the details, but basically, there's allegations. There's been allegations for years.
So how about this? When allegations come out...
Hold on. Let me set it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, man.
All right, go ahead, brother. Sorry.
I can't wait because I need your opinion on this. Because again, a lot of people just seen also yesterday Stephanie McMahon is implicated,
Yep.
and I don't know what that's going to do with like Triple H because
This
he
is
might
going to
be
go
guilty
down
by association.
This is going to go down the
So
ladder
what
with a
people
lot
don't
of people.
know, especially Lyndon Ehlers, TKO bought WWE and UFC. I'm sure you know that. But they acquired that. So WWE is no longer an entity by itself.
Nope, it's owned.
owned by Ari Emanuel? Or is
I don't know who.
I
owns
believe that's the
TKO.
CEO of TKO. So again, this is it should be good. I mean, that should be a great acquirement. Vince McMahon has some allegations. He gets fucked. Then he comes back as an executive chairman somehow and like gets himself back. And everybody got all excited, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, Vince McMahon's gone. Triple H is going to be the guy, fuck yeah. But then he comes back, he asserts himself, and then this new lawsuit comes in, which isn't new, by the way, because she already got paid like 1.2 million or something like that.
Hush money, right?
Hush money settlement. Now,
it's bad, bro.
67 pages of basically text messages, and these text messages, I hate to say it, will get you very horny. Lyndon. He's in the middle, man.
Calm down.
Oh my God!
motherfucker.
Come on, he literally would get better lyrics because of this. Anyway,
Oh man. Fucking A.
We don't laugh because we don't know the actual story, and we laugh because we're here together.
Right.
I don't know.
I laugh because
anything.
I'm not involved.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
I mean,
involved anyway.
none of us
Right.
really technically are either. You know, I'm in the wrestling business,
But my point is
it's
if you
like
speak
I don't work for
ill
Vince.
of somebody, you know, especially on YouTube. That's why I'm going to put probably most of this on Rumble. Anymore.
Yeah, because you can get slander or whatever.
You know,
fucking-
people just.
But this is still allegations, okay?
Nah, well, I mean, it's alleged, is what you're saying.
Well, some of it's like
everything.
Let me
is
sum it up.
legally alleged.
Lyndon,
Yeah.
Ehlers,
Yeah.
Shuggy Woogie, Vince McMahon is literally done.
oh, he's over with. Yeah,
Like he's
like
actually
society's.
resigned. He resigned.
Yeah, he had to.
Fully.
As soon
Do we
as
have
as soon as like the details of like some of this stuff that was happening. By the way, you know, at one point when you're a fucking almost a billionaire, you're like, you can probably think you can get away with anything.
Well, guys,
And by the way, I really think that if they keep digging, there's going to be real skeletons in the closet.
I've already dug a lot.
I'm talking like people
I'm
are
going to tell you.
dead.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I know. The 67 pages.
Jesus.
I read it because it was fucking. I was bored.
Well, we should role play.
I love it.
Oh my God.
No. 67 pages that explain that he has. He's actually paid hush money to 12 other people.
Yep.
It's $12 million altogether that he's paid out. And it's like, what happened? And a lot of people, especially Corny, you know Corny. Corny said, "Hey, you probably don't know Jim Cornish or
Jim Cornette.
Cornette.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard
yeah.
of
that name.
Cornette.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette said the guy was obviously completely fine, and I don't know what happened when he turned 70. What happened was the guy has CTE. He got fucking hit in the head with chairs over and over.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, but we can't
and-
justify
hey,
some
hey,
of this shit he's
But he
doing.
never had an abuse until like 10 years ago.
At least you didn't hear about it.
Oh, we're talking about like the real shit.
Hey, you guys are right.
I love.
Lyndon's answer's right. At least you didn't hear about it because it was the 80s and
Of
90s.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
And no women gave a fuck in the 80s and 90s. They're like drug.
Oh man, dude! Like, that's not even a joke. Like, there's like you watch those like documentaries of those guys in hair bands. They're like, I couldn't even look at a woman like and not think she was a fucking pig.
Literally, what I was gonna say was like, you know, you hear a lot about that shit from like Motley Crue and those bands, and you don't have a ton of like ladies coming forward from that era.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because a lot
They're
of them were like,
fucking
oh, that's just
super hot.
That's just like how it was then, and they
Just
maybe
accepted
don't
it,
care.
yeah. Like, well-
They were ungodly attractive.
Well, yeah.
Like chicks.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean,
Vince
that's
McMahon is a pretty good looking
But
guy.
listen-
back in the
listen,
day.
though.
He's not ugly.
I feel like
Go ahead, bud.
that, like Lyndon's saying, is
Yeah.
like women then were like, well, if she's doing it, I'll do that too.
I mean,
You know, like
there
they were
was-
kind of just falling into the
there
the
seems
trap.
to be. I'm not going to say that I know because I don't know any of these people. There seems to be, at least with like, you know, a lot of that shit happened that way back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure there's some chick out there that like sucked Nikki Sixx off while he was sitting, you know, at a table at the fucking the Sunset Grill or whatever that fucking place.
I mean, you're really sugarcoating of like some of the shit they probably were doing, but like,
absolutely, totally.
Did you not watch the Netflix
Well, I
thing
just-
that
I
they
only
did?
just-
He literally eats a girl's pussy in front of like 40 people.
I mean,
in
I
the
literally,
beginning.
I only just
Oh, yeah.
I heard about
Motley
this
Crue thing. Yeah.
I heard about this thing that football players did on this cruise one. Shane Gillis was talking about this shit.
Nice.
Oh,
Tell me
shit.
about
These
that.
fucking guys called it running through the okra. And it was holding chicks up, holding them up physically, eating them out, and running down the deck of the fucking cruise ship in front of like families and stuff. And they got in a bunch of trouble for this.
That sounds like a. That sounds like
Running powerbomb!
Running through the okra.
I was going to call it a running Slurpee.
Well, whatever. But I mean, you know, there's obviously there's but, like, you know, the way things are now, like people aren't cool with that shit anymore.
Right,
yeah.
And you, even no matter how fucking rich you are, you can't do that shit, man.
Oh, dude,
They
by the
shouldn't have
way-
been doing it back then.
No, agreed.
You can't do
No,
it
if you got
now.
trillions, you're fine.
Well, I mean,
If you're the Rockefeller,
I'm sure there's some
137 trillion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would guarantee there's
sure.
some Saudi Arabian prince out there that just has a dumpster full of chicks that he probably just murdered and nobody gives a
Jesus,
fuck.
this got really fucking dark. Really.
But you are implying that Vince McMahon likely has that as well.
I agree, 100%.
And I don't doubt it.
Guys, the next Pit Lord album is called Dumpster Full of Chicks.
Wait, no, that's
Saudi
nothing about
Arabia,
barbecue.
They're trying to get signed by
We're
Saudi
taking a major
Arabian.
turn.
Oh, really?
But anyways, so
It's a fucked up thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here's what sucks. What sucks about it to me is everybody online who's the fucking captain of the chair.
Of course.
Just like they always are in wrestling, and you know that, you know that, you know that. You know that more than anybody here in that fucking spider shed. But what sucks is Vince McMahon was brilliant. When people want to fucking shit on him because he fucking did horrible things, just like, again, if he did, allegedly,
Some of them.
I want to say this.
pretty
I want to say
rad.
this. He revolutionized everything.
Well, you got to think
He
like
revolutionized everything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't literally just wrestling. By the way, pro wrestling revolutionized music.
Yeah.
Because of Vince McMahon.
yeah. The
Okay?
very first
You think
WrestleMania
it
was
music
gigantic.
that was revolutionary. It was fucking Vince McMahon that made music.
well, like
better.
intros,
Dude,
Well,
specifically?
not just that. Like
Musicians?
the very first WrestleMania was really built on like musicians too. Like Cyndi Lauper, like Roddy Piper
Yes.
kicked Cyndi Lauper,
that
and everybody's
was
like, "Oh, what a piece of shit!" And then,
but a lot of America was
Roddy
like,
Piper,
"Fuck yeah."
Roddy Piper justifies his actions. Like she writes music, she's a piece of trash. She's got a song about masturbation. You think you let little girls hear that song? I'm like, dude. All right, first off, if you can justify your heel actions, I'm like, dude, I already believe you already right now. It's like,
he should have said "lop her head off."
okay, I've got fuck.
Well, I mean, so I mean, to build on that point, you can draw a parallel with Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, you can.
Actually,
Yes,
Revolutionary-
They have been doing that.
I mean,
in the news,
absolutely.
By the way. They've literally been doing that.
Like, absolutely. I mean, that guy, monster, fucking
oh yeah.
absolute turd person.
Well, think about
Difference is
revolutionized
Vince McMahon's not ugly
movie
for the
production.
longest time.
For sure.
That
Yeah.
guy's uglier than shit.
That guy, the only reason like Tarantino, ever got a shot was Harvey Weinstein. A lot of big names that, got their start probably from having to suck the guy's disgusting cock, which is awful. Nobody should have to have a career from that.
Well, there's a lot of dark
Somebody should have a GoFundMe for him.
But he also that guy was a genius about how actors should present themselves
Yes.
in front of the media, like in the modern age, how you should act. I mean, he would legit tell people like, "You're fucking boring. You are just a boring person.
Yeah.
Like you need to be like a more active individual just all around because fucking people think you're boring." And that's that kind of shit like you have to tell to entertainers that are just starting out, you know. But I don't support obviously what the guy did. But I mean it's the Genghis Khan paradox. Right? Awful, monstrous individual, but
without his actions, there was not the fucking chain reaction of everything.
Things would be way different, likely, for better or for worse. Who knows? You can't prove that. But Vince McMahon, just same thing.
Oh, dude,
obviously awful motherfucker.
Oh man,
but
some of the stuff I heard,
ruthless aggression with business.
Yeah,
for sure. And I'll say, like, honestly, to be honest with you, man, I really did like a lot of his decisions with pro wrestling, but some of them are again, questionable because there was a very manly aspect to him where he wanted to make sure that you weren't going to be a little bitch. But again, with the allegations, man, it's like, does that really surprise you? Okay, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. I cannot understand what it means to be a billionaire.
No.
By the way, we can also not understand what it means to be famous since you're young.
Yeah.
His dad owned WWF.
Yeah, he's second generation promoter.
So I'm not giving him excuses. I'm not saying shit.
Yeah, we're not
Vince
justifying.
McMahon,
No,
by the way,
not.
has a bunch of he has a book, and in the book he explains that his dad and his stepdad or whatever beat the shit out of him, and he like had literally trauma as a grown up, not a grown up,
but like as whatever.
That's what made him into the individual that he is. He went to the military, blah blah blah. Long story short, the guy is not necessarily like again, he's not weak.
Yeah,
as an individual.
No.
But you're talking about most of the allegations that I've seen are within when he turns 70.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
By the way, CTE catches up with you because the guy literally. Well, no.
First
they didn't
off,
do this with the chair shots.
No.
He fucking took a chair shot to the skull.
Yeah, and I'm talking like when
like
Steve
the
Austin
worst.
was swinging.
Oh,
that
he didn't give
motherfucker
a-
was swinging.
I only just recently had read that CTE starts as early as 11 years old.
Yeah,
So
it
he
can.
could have brain damage from being beat up as a kid already.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just compounded. Again, not...
Still no
brain damage is
justification.
not a justification. But I mean, you know... yeah, that's where I'm going to stop. I'm not going to build
obviously-
on that. I don't
All
wanna
right,
say
we'll
anything
get
else.
into what's actually more positive. If in fact
Hang on.
he is no
Hang on.
longer in the WWE, I want to ask you, Shug, do you think that hopefully Triple H is not within this allegation?
Oh, wow. The bad thing, this is all going to come down.
By the way, Brock Lesnar already erased.
Already's gone.
Already
They're going to
erased.
do the Benoit treatment to him. By the way,
Because he's in the allegations.
Oh, he's
because
part of it.
he's one of the
I heard about
girls,
this.
or he's one of the guys that Vince McMahon made the girl fuck and shit on her head or whatever.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
John Laurinaitis. I only know him in the name. I don't really know who that is. He's
Johnny
gone.
Ace used to wrestle in Japan and shit. Like the Ace Crusher, the Diamond Cutter, that was Johnny Ace.
My point is, he's gone.
Yeah, he's fucking gone too.
But Bruce Pritchard's back. So
that's
a lot
the
of
one that
people-
like it's
a lot
like
of
it's
people
gonna
think-
keep coming down the ladder,
A
man.
lot of people think that that's Vince McMahon's end still.
Oh, it is.
And
It is
he's
because
calling him every day.
that's I guarantee it. He's his little puppet.
Yeah.
So Vince is still if even who was it, Ryback? It was like if Pritchard's still there, Vince is still a part of it.
Ronda Rousey said Bruce Pritchard is Vince McMahon's little bitch.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you, do you think Vince McMahon can come back from this?
No.
I think at this point he's too old.
Yeah, why would
and
at this point just walk away?
Unnecessary.
What do you
There's no
need?
retribution for a legend, even though he did bad shit.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, at one point,
Retribution.
like there's no coming back from this, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, and why would you try though? Because at this point, it's like, just walk away.
Right, you're
Get the
done.
fuck out. You know what I mean? You're in your 70s. What the fuck do you need to be popular for? Like, you've done it. You did it. Walk the fuck away before this gets worse.
Here's what sucks. It's a very Michael Jackson feeling I have, where people are like, hey, he did these horrible things, which, by the way, are alleged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't know if the Michael.
Yeah, I know,
Jackson
but
shit
everybody
ever
kind of
happened.
has that feeling, though. Like, what happens if he
I mean,
did? Should I be dancing to Thriller
You know,
right now?
the ducks line up and
I
everything.
still love Dirty Diana.
All the songs are amazing.
But like people still he still gets all the accolades. He still gets praise.
I think that's how
you know.
Vince McMahon's going to go, Lance. I think that
I don't know,
he's
man. I
gonna-
feel
he's-
like there's already enough evidence against him versus like what Michael Jackson dealt with.
Now, guys, Wrestling with Music and Life right here. I need to ask somebody that in the room that's actually been there. He's been in the WWE. He's literally got pushed out by an elevator by Triple H.
No, it was.
Shug,
It
did
was
you get raped by Vince McMahon? No.
I actually was way too scared to even fucking walk up to him. Like, I was terrified. Like, you know, you learn in the business, you walk up to everybody and introduce yourself. It's just what you do, right?
You do that with music too.
Yeah. So it's like, I was too fucking scared. And then, like, funny thing is that segment, Colby was still, like, you know, working for NXT or Florida Championship Wrestling, you know, the fucking, but like, he was there and we did that segment, and the whole time I was just like, listen to Triple H, like, put this whole segment together, and like, Vince wasn't there. You know what I mean? I didn't meet Vince, but I'll tell you this story. She's on TV now, but they told everybody who's an extra to get to the back. Well, Lisa did not give a fuck about authority. So everybody's actually out there putting their shit together.
The authority.
Well, I mean, like listening to, like, hey, go get in the back. You're an extra. Don't be out here. Lisa Scarlett did not give a shit about hearing what you told her to do. She walks right up to Vince McMahon and introduces herself. I'm like, the balls on you. Like, I was like, holy shit. I watched it on the monitor in the back. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? And she was my valet in AEW. And like, I always try to teach her, like, you gotta like listen. Like, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want, you know?
Exactly.
Well, now she's on TV with her husband, so fuck me.
Yeah, I mean, I get the feel. I know what you mean though, because like I'm the type of person that really doesn't want to do that. I don't want to walk up to people
and bother them. You know what I mean?
And well, yeah, I mean, especially when it's like, you know, like say we're like opening for a touring band and it's somebody I really like. I'm more like, I got to focus on like what I'm working on, and they're busy too most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, you try to catch somebody when it looks like they're not busy or running around doing something. And a lot of times in those situations, it's most people in the band minus like one guy, right? But it's usually that one guy is the one you're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to like bother anybody. And really in my position, just going up and talking to somebody in a band that's big, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Right.
That shit doesn't happen where bands go, man, we met this one band on tour, and they're like talking to the label, and they're like, you should call them. That doesn't happen. You know?
Yeah.
That shit doesn't happen. So I don't care about. It's like, it's just meeting people that I know we can work with to an extent, like artists, or, you know, a lot of connections we have now are from that exact thing. Walking up to people and be like, hey, I'm in this band. What's up? Always wanted to work with you, you know, or just emailing people. And it's really tough, but I'm doing it from a professional standpoint, not like, hey,
you're not marking out.
The one story I have that is the most embarrassing for me, which is really not that bad, but we played with Narcotic Wasteland, which is Dallas Toller Wade's band from Nile.
Yeah.
The bald guy, my favorite thing about Nile for the longest time. And, you know, I go up to their merch spot, and there's already like people around that table, like,
of course,
you know, Dallas Wade is here, you know, like Nile, and everybody's talking to him about Nile, and I'm sure he doesn't want to fucking talk
like
about
he's
Nile.
he's not even in the fucking band anymore.
And I'm standing there. This is not that long ago. This is like 2.5 years ago in Chicago, and I'm standing there and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking like, I kind of want to meet the guy. I kind of want to talk to him. I already know that he was like at the bar next door, like destroying Pac-Man or something. Like he was like, he's like, you got the top high score in Pac-Man or something. One of the games over there. And all I could say to him was, I was like, dude. It's like, this is what I sounded like in my head. That's not what it sounded like, but I was like, Annihilation of the Wicked's like my favorite Nile album. It's like the best thing ever. And he's just like, fuck you! He's like sitting.
And all these other cunts talking about it too.
And he's looking up at me, and he's just like, and I just, okay. And I just walked away. Didn't talk to him for the rest of the fucking show. I was like, all night. And then like weeks later, it got worse. I was like,
you started thinking about it like, oh man, secondhand embarrassment.
This guy doesn't remember me. He doesn't remember our band.
I would have walked up and been like, dude, brother, I'm so high, I'm hieroglyphs.
What I should have done is been like, I should have went up to him and being like, doesn't Carl Sanders' vocals suck? That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
But
Colonel Carl Sanders.
But it's like, I don't like, you know, that was one of those situations where I should have been like, you know, it's not a bad thing to talk to the guy, but realistically, it's kind of unnecessary for like the situation.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And again, I also don't want every person I meet to have some sort of underlying agenda, but when you work in entertainment, that is kind of how things are with everything.
For sure.
So I get that. In your case though, I would have fucking went up.
I should have. I was so fucking scared,
bro. What's the
every single one of them?
The way I would think about that, you know, is like the worst thing that could happen is you have a story where you were there and you did not listen to anybody and you took the chance and went up to talk to Vince McMahon and he was like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
What the fuck are you doing?
And that would have been, you know.
What happens if you call him Bud?
So, what's up, bud? How you doing, pal?
So But I also understand.
If I was a
get
fucking
it.
professional wrestler, which I was supposed to be, because I thought I was actually going to do both, like Chris Jericho back in the day, I would have called him Bud. I would have called him a piece of shit. Ice cold beer, you piece of shit. I don't give a fuck.
So that whole, I did 2 days of extra work, okay? So I was terrified to walk up to anybody.
Right.
CM Punk remembered me, like,
Ew.
Shane, right? I'm like, yep. I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I remember, man. I'm like, shit, that's weird.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I was like, it's like,
That's happened to me. I'm like, this guy's not going to remember me.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. Like, shit. Wasn't expecting that.
No.
I don't know what to say now.
so I had one guy of all the WWE guys, you introduce your real fucking name, right? So one guy walked up to us and he used his real name. And it was Dolph Ziggler. And he walks up, he goes, hi guys, I'm Nick. I'm like, one fucking dude of the whole crew did that. And I was like, dude's fucking rad. Like, and he's super fucking, he's super good though. Think about the fact how long he was in WWE.
He's not in WWE anymore.
No.
And he's killing it still, though.
Yeah.
Right?
But like, yeah, it's just like you'll meet those guys and you're just like, first off, John Cena, I was way too afraid to fucking walk up and talk to him because he looked busy as fuck all the time. But Lisa being next to me, of course, John walks over. And this was the second day. And then we introduce ourselves again. Like, John's not going to remember me, of course. But this is my favorite thing ever. And it flew right over Lisa's head. And he's like, I remember you. I have a pornographic memory. And she literally, she was like, oh, thank you. I'm like, did you hear what he said? No. Pornographic memory? Like, what the fuck? Like, it flew right over her fucking...
That?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, shit. He's going to have
But first off, that motherfucker looks like a... He looks,
with music and live.
in person, he just looks like a... He's just so fucking massive.
Yeah.
You know what I
Tall?
mean?
He seems like he'd be
He's
one of
not
those guys
tall.
that turns
He's
out to
not
be like
that tall.
average
Like,
height.
what, 6'1", maybe?
He's taller than me.
Logan's fucking taller than him.
I'm not tall
But
at all.
Cena...
I'm 6 foot tall.
So, like, bullshit. First off, motherfucker, he's 6'4". It's fucking big. So, Cena's fucking, those things on his arms, that's a fucking headband, bro. And it's tight on his fucking arm, bro.
Yeah.
It just like, you just look at him, you're like, dude, you're just fucking massive.
Wear
human being.
headwear on your arm.
And it's tight.
Like, he's got like a pair of sunglasses and they're like stretched.
I mean, hey, if I was a manager, Lyndon, I would have looked at Shug and I would have said, listen, you walk up to him and you piss on his leg like a dog. You have to.
I mark my territory, motherfucker.
My territory,
I
you
think,
mark.
I would always argue because it has worked for me before, that
You pissed on
if
somebody's
you're
leg?
going,
Give me one of those beers.
if no.
You got no beers.
Oh, fuck me.
if you're
got a whole
legit
bottle
gonna
of
walk
vodka.
up to somebody and put yourself out there like that in that moment, it is so important to be like confident and
Of
not
course.
be scared
Yeah.
and just be like, it's do or die.
Yeah.
It's either I pull the trigger or somebody else does, And like sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's for the better. But it's like you got to really think about that because you're literally putting your career in the iron sights. Like it could go really bad or it could go really well. And most of the time, when you put yourself out there, it goes really well.
Yeah, if you're like the balls to just walk up and just do it anyways. Like, of course, like I said, Lisa, just all the extras were supposed to go in the back. So the real talent is out there rolling around in the ring, going over stuff, and she just walks right up to Vince McMahon.
Yeah, not Lisa, the real talent though. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you said it.
I mean, like WWE real talent out there, not the
actual
extras.
employees.
Yeah, the actual.
I made a
employees.
joke earlier and said I had Eagle waffles because me and Lyndon were talking or whatever. I want to say that some people do. Some people can say, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm better than you. I
gotta have
don't
balls.
fuck what you do.
You gotta have fucking balls.
Yeah, you do.
If you don't have that mindset, guess what? You won't do shit.
Right.
Well, and again, it's like Lyndon was talking earlier about setting up a booth to fucking, do his merch.
Yeah.
And people are like fucking up their merch and he's helping them.
I helped the other man kind of set the merch up.
And to me, I think Lyndon's a douche. Don't fucking
No,
help
first
him.
off,
Fucking
shut the
shit.
fuck up, motherfucker. I take pride in being
you
a
go
good
up to
brother.
him. You
That's
go
what
up
I
to
call it in the business. You're like, all right, I will fucking help you out,
good
man.
brother, good sister. I get it.
Yeah.
You need to as Lyndon. This is my only like rejection was like you need to walk up to that band. I forget what band you were talking about earlier, and you say, "You little bitch! Look at this!"
Oh no. That's there's all kinds of stories. There's plenty of stories.
Fucking buy a shirt because I just did.
Listen, there are stories from
Yeah.
friends of mine who have had that happen. People who've been playing music as long as I have had that happen and been screamed at by like a touring
freaked
band
out, yeah.
musician. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Not in a sense like, hey man, you guys got to do this better. Like you motherfuckers, like you're fucking unprofessional. Like you, bro, like
yeah.
that kind of shit.
Right.
And I'll never let a young band like flounder like that. I'm definitely not going to hold their hand. I'm not going to say, you need to do this. But
you have to give them tough love as well.
There's all kinds of stuff that I wish like
Tough
older
love.
guys would have told me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
then you take pride of like kind of doing that, right?
Yeah,
I do the same thing.
100%. If you're in a band and you're looking for something, whether it be somebody to print your T-shirts, you need a logo, you need artwork, you need some kind of connection.
You'll point them in the direction, of course.
You who to talk to.
Yeah.
Because I have to do that still, obviously. I have to figure shit out. And a lot of that has been on my own or on our own as a band.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, and just kind of like not sure exactly how things are going to work out. And sometimes it's just like, oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
Just all you had to do was email that guy.
Yeah.
He was more than happy to talk to you.
Well, it's
You
just
know?
like I was just talking to you about, possibly doing full terror assault with Dark Rift.
Yeah.
And we know the same person.
Yeah.
He literally says he controls the fucking stage. That is connections. And we were saying earlier, it's connections or else.
Yep.
You
It
have
is.
to have connections.
It is. Yeah.
And if you're trying to just like be the best ever, like I am, and you don't want connections, man, it'll be slow. But the thing is like, again, I'm obviously knowing that I have to do that.
This goes into wrestling again.
Yeah,
Any
totally.
kind of entertainment, any kind of entertainment business is, you have to put yourself out there. You have to show people you want to work with that you're willing to work. That hey, listen, I want to take advantage of your services, and or if it's like somebody like you want to book with or whatever.
Right.
They have to see that you've already like done shit and you know what you're doing, and it's not going to be some kind of like babysitting job for them.
Yes.
And there have been plenty of times where I've worked with people and been like, fuck, like I dropped the ball in this way or that way. Like, I wrote a bio for us and sent it off to have a press kit made, and the bio had this really dumb opening line that I thought was hilarious, but the guy making the EPK is like, you should probably change that, man. And I was like, oh, you're right. Like just hearing one guy say that is in the industry, is like it was more so I went back to him and was like, hey, I need to change that line, and he was like, good idea. Like, because he was just gonna let me do it. So it was the opening line of our bio. I put, hailed as Iowa's most non-Slipknot band, which I thought was hilarious at the time, and still do. But I am glad that I changed that. Dan didn't like it either, and I was like, okay. So, but there's those little things that it's like it's a punch in the gut sometimes, but you just move on and you never make that mistake again. Yeah,
right.
And there's still stuff that will have to change and whatever, but
it's a part of like evolving in the industry altogether. Like I know. I mean, fuck, I'm like, at this point, been doing this shit for entertaining since I was 16 years old. Like, it's pretty fucking wild. Like, young kids will walk up to me and they're like, how long you been doing this, Shug? I'm like, I don't know, fucking more than half my life. I'm 37 years old. So, like, this is like pretty much what I know. I mean, but like, again, like Lyndon, like point him in the. I'm not gonna hold your fucking hand, kid. But if you walk up to me and ask me something, I will, point you in the right direction or give you what what you should hear.
And I will also, I'll flip it and I'll say I also appreciate people that will just straight up take everything on their own.
Yeah,
it's not the easiest, is for sure not the easiest way to do it. But there are people out there that just totally just took things in their own hands and went, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out. And that's a rare individual for sure, especially in music.
Oh yeah.
Because that's usually one guy in a band of like 5 people that takes everything. Eric from Bonginator, which is a fantastic band, is a good example. That guy fucking just said, fuck it. I'm going to start.
He just does everything for him,
like They're
So Eric owns the
they
company?
they just went on. Eric, he By the way, Eric, you still have my power supply that I lent you at fucking Polterra.
I
really don't care.
Bonginator, and he's like, we gave the company to Eric.
No, listen though. Bonginator, a band with that name, they started like 2 years ago, and this guy was like, I'm going to turn this fucking goofy, silly band into. But they just went on a 40-day tour with Escuela Grind.
But I guarantee they've been in bands way before that. They
awesome,
figured it out.
They figured it out.
Well, yeah.
And that's
you get there.
Obviously, he did work.
Yes.
It wasn't like he's not just a genius.
Yeah.
He figured shit out. But like that's a guy who was like looked at everything logically and was like, why are he put out this he puts out a lot of TikToks. Follow the Bonginator TikTok. He does a lot of really cool, like, kind of just advice stuff about like touring and shit. And one of his biggest stipulations is like nobody in the band can have a DUI or can drive drunk. He goes, and this was
that makes sense,
his exact words. She goes, bands that fuck this up are stupid and retarded. Like
capital R.
It was right because and I think about like all the when all of us started, there's been plenty of times where we all drove drunk home from a show and shit, and that's just not the way to do things.
It was a good time though.
Everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah, scary. As a person who's had a DUI, I got away with a lot of shit.
Never got one.
And
drank more than you guys.
But it's somebody like that guy,
I don't
and like
drunk.
I'm that's a person that you look at and go, he knows what he's doing. He's figured it out. He's a person you can talk to and be like, how did you guys do this? And he'll absolutely fucking tell you exactly what you
As me and you were saying earlier, professional.
Yeah, being a professional.
Professional.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's even in metal, which is goofy and silly and over the top and crazy, like, and full of degenerates, but it's like professional degenerates. A lot of the people that succeed,
100%,
for sure,
fuck around.
I'm not a normal human being, as I would say.
Sure.
I'm pretty fucked up in a lot of ways, but like to be like as an artist, obviously. Well, I mean, my nose is crooked. If you just if you look at it straight on, you're like, oh shit, Shane's nose is fucking crooked.
I've never noticed. Honestly.
Has your nose been crooked? No.
That's what happens when you fuck up two spots when you're nervous. So one spot was ducked the line, the other spot was kicked in the gut. So I'm ducking, bam, shatters my fucking nose.
My nose does the line.
I officially, that cliche, that trope where like the very opening of a band,
Nice.
They either fuck up the city or I last time we played Iowa City, we hit the first note of the intro and I go, we're Davenport, Iowa from Pit Lord. And I can hear Dan in my ear monitors through his microphone go like as we're playing, and I'm looking over and I'm like, what the fuck? What is wrong with me?
I feel like Google Maps and everybody's phone goes, that's wrong.
That's where Pit Lord is. And it was super funny. I mean, I've never done that until now. And
man.
I mean, that stuff's fun. I just had to bring that up.
Yeah, no, that's fucking irrelevant. It's like when you like.
That was the best story from the. Oh no! I'm sorry. I have to.
Yeah. Come on. Let's hear it now.
No, I do have a really good story from.
Do it, bub.
I have a really good story from that show also.
Yes.
Says Emily brings it up to me every day.
Fantastic!
Now.
I'm already pumped.
It's not embarrassing or anything. It's actually like it's wholesome, which I don't have wholesome stories about shows a lot of times. So this is good. So, we get to Gabe's in Iowa City, which was great. I was so excited to play upstairs in Gabe's. It had been like 10 years since I played up there. And literally we're walking in. Me and Emily are both carrying gear and Dan's just behind me. And I get stopped by this child who is this tall. He's younger than 10. He's probably 8 years old. His name is Quest.
What a name! That's pretty cool.
He was a cousin. He's a cousin of another fan of ours named Stone. He's also young. They're like younger than probably 18. I want to say they're probably around 18. He's probably around 18. We brought his young cousin. This little kid, this child, Quest, had a Pit Lord back patch on already.
Nice.
He had like a battle vest and everything.
Dude, that's fucking sick. All right, just saying.
He stops me as I'm walking in. He goes, Pit Lord. I turn around. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? He goes, you're my favorite band. And I've been waiting so long to see you guys.
Holy shit,
and I was
dude.
like, yeah, that was my reaction.
Like,
I was just like, all right, man. Let me bring stuff in, and I'm gonna come find you.
Yeah,
and then
for real, dude.
I went. So we packed in, and he was like noticeably doing circles around the venue, like waiting to like talk to either of us. I seem to be the one people know because I'm on the social media more. You know, not everybody recognizes Dan,
right?
Which is he's probably cool with that.
He's like, yeah, fuck.
Dan, I'm certainly the mouth. Dan's totally fine with people, but I'm certainly the mouth, and. I immediately stop at a merch table and I grab one of our beanies and I walk over to him and I give him a beanie. And
yeah, dude.
Here you go, dude. Like,
fuck yeah.
He ended up buying like $60 worth of merch.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
There's a funny story about that too, but I just talked to this kid, and Emily is like standing behind him at the merch table watching me and I'm watching her and she's like... I'm like this child's stepfather for just and it was wild, dude. Right? It was wild. And then like, his cousin and everything, people that were with him, there were all these young kids that showed up to see us and it was surreal.
Yeah.
Know? And he's obviously a very young kid, so it was a fun conversation. But when you talk to like an 8-year-old, he said something like he was like, Morbid Angel, there's people that die at their shows all the time, and I was like, and Dan, who was there at that collapse, and is standing right behind me, and I turned around and looked at Dan and went. But I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard that. But then the last part of that is he's looking at our stuff and he's already purchased like, I don't know, like I said, $60 or something worth of shit. And Mall is set up. Their merch is set up right next to us, and they have a bunch of stuff too. We had just about as much stuff as they did, which is cool.
Fucking
but they had a hoodie, a really cool looking hoodie. It was like tan with like the logo on it and everything. Is sweet, but it was like $60.
Yeah.
Which hoodies are expensive now for bands because they're like 40.
Well, yeah, you got to order it. Yeah, they're
dude.
Fucking expensive before you even have the design on it.
Ridiculous, yeah. And so this kid is looking at their merch and he goes, how much is the hoodie, the sweatshirt? And the guy goes, oh, that's $60. And this kid goes, too expensive, and just walks away. With all of our merch.
Yeah, he's already spent $60 on your guys'.
But yeah, I wish I had a crazier story about that show, but like that was very strange.
All right, so
did you understand the inflationary prices?
I heard that went down.
You explain inflation to the fucking kid.
He walks away after saying that, and I look at the merch guy for Mall, and I just went. Like I opened the guffawed, I
guffawed at the quest of inflation.
Like I was just like, oh, children are they're so precious.
So like that moment you like. So my thing is, I kind of felt what you were feeling. Like, all right, so like when a kid walks up to you and they're like kind of nervous, like I just want you to know that like you're my favorite wrestler, and like when you hear stuff like that, you're just like. Fuck, dude. I gotta pull you aside and kind of talk to you a little bit.
Hey, have you not seen like Shawn Michaels?
I know, like I stole all his shit.
Here's the situation I was thinking of. I was referencing in my head while this is going on. It was when I was 17 and I went to my very first death metal show ever. It was Dying Fetus and Suffocation at QC Live downtown.
Yep.
Was well not of age to be in there, but QC Live did not give a fuck. Nope. They're just like, you're 18, right? I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay. And I run into the original singer for Dying Fetus. This guy has not been in the band forever now, but he actually approaches me, which I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, right.
He's fucking coming up to me. And this dude, later I find out this guy is like a known like major coke head.
Oh,
always
okay.
Yeah, I seen your coke face.
He fucking runs up to me. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do anything at the time. And he walks up to me and I'm thinking like I just fucking, and he goes, hey man, you got a cigarette? And I was like, no, I don't smoke. He's like, this is my first show ever. He was like, yeah, cool, man. And he just walked away. Like,
But your heart was like, oh shit.
all I could think is like my friend over there that plays drums is like way better than the guy that plays in your band. Like but I didn't have time to say it. And so like, I
your
think about
stupid drummer's a dying fetus.
I think about
a real fucking
I
fetus.
think about a situation like that, and I go, I will never be like that guy. Obviously, we're busy.
Right.
And sometimes people walk up to you when you're like running around with your shoulders forward.
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
You're walking.
Yeah.
You're pacing, doing shit, and people want to talk to you, and you're like, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm going over here. I'll try to find you when I come back. And that's hard because, you don't want people to think that you don't want to talk to them.
So this happened
As
to me.
I said, I had to cut you off. If you don't have anxiety doing what you're doing, and I get it just doing this,
Right.
you're not doing it right.
Right, yeah. If you still don't get that, like, oh shit, I'm like, kind of got the, butterflies a little
Fight
bit.
legs. You get fight
Yeah,
legs,
for
kind
real.
of, but you're like working.
So like last night, I didn't like. Sometimes I'm like, I main event, and I have to go downstairs and take all my shit off. I said, fuck that, because I had a friend. She came to the show for the first time and brought her boys, and I'm like, I promise you, these kids are gonna love this show.
Yeah.
So, like, match is over. I'm like, I don't even go all the way down the stairs. I'm like, fuck this. I turned back around. Went back out there. After I was like, Eric, you good? They're kind of taking care of him. I'm like, all right, I'll try to find some super glue or something. So I go back upstairs instantly and was like, all right, I gotta fucking, like, I'm not selling merch, like, because I'm an idiot, obviously. Been doing this a long time. I know you gotta be selling merch. Always selling merch.
That shit
Fucking,
in
I
your
know, right?
fucking head.
So, hey, by the way, I have these badass pictures I got to send you and see if you can like make a sweet 8x10 out of it, like a cool logo or something. See if you could do it for me.
Okay.
So I go back out there and I'm just like, because like I didn't even know, because when I have the mask on, there's that picture of my profile, like my friend's son is trying to high five me and I don't see him. So like I'm like, oh fuck, dude, yeah, you feel like an asshole. So I was just like, oh fuck that. So I went right back out there.
I mean, how many times did nobody get high fived? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But like my thing is, if I was in that kid's shoes, I'm like, he didn't high five me. I'm like, no, fuck that. So I went back out there.
I don't know.
And I took pictures with. I took pictures with all of the kids. That's like I take pride in that. Yeah. And like my favorite is like the boys. I'm like, you gotta make a mean face. You gotta be pissed off. All right, give me that. So like a little girl walked up to me last night, and I'm like, you know what you do? Just be cute the way you are, and we smile. And like she was so jazzed, just like, oh, can I get a picture with you? I'm like, that's like my favorite thing. I'm so pumped when kids are just like, hey, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna be that guy. Like $5.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck you, man.
The young kids coming up to me is a new thing. Like, just in the past like few years, 2 years, and I've never even. That was something I never imagined, and we are still like nobody, so it makes it even more special.
Yeah,
it's like, when you start doing things and you get further and further in what you're doing, and less people are there and talking to you, like. Me and Emily regularly, somebody stops me at least once a weekend, and is like, Pit Lord, and it's, I'll talk to him and we'll walk away, and Emily will be like, who was that? And I'll go, I don't know.
Yeah, all the time. All the time, dude.
Never met that person.
That's a piece of shit.
I'm going to tell you right now. I at one point,
I love it.
I stopped going to a certain Walmart. Because every time.
Yeah.
No matter fucking what.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. I'm trying to look.
I have to piss so bad.
We'll keep talking.
Yeah, so I'm trying.
Keep you guys going.
So
a bunch of noise is going to
obviously I'm trying to look like the biggest douchebag. Don't talk to me. I have sunglasses in Walmart on, earbuds in. Obviously I'm screaming, don't fucking talk to me. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Hey, Shug! It's fucking grab my arm. I'm like, fuck.
That's the shit, man. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything else really still.
Right.
And like, there are definitely times where I've been out and somebody has stopped me and I've been like, in a bad mood, but it always fixes it.
Yeah, it does
It's
in a
never
way.
bothered me to a point like I wouldn't ever want anybody to think they can't come up to me. And again, I'm nobody. Like if you recognize me from Pit Lord, wherever we are. To me, that's like extra special
Yeah.
because it's still weird. It's still weird that we get recognized and we're known and stuff, and being as small as we are still, but like. Yeah, it's one of those little byproducts of being in entertainment where you're like, oh man, I forgot that can happen.
Yeah, right?
Like I forgot.
I can't, like on Colby's level. It's like, dude. First off, I always think it's crazy because I've ran into him and Becky together.
Yeah,
like 3 separate times at Hy-Vee on West Kimberly.
Yeah,
and I'm like. There's a Hy-Vee closer to where you guys live. I'm so fucking confused why you're here. And I almost ran headfirst into Becky. And my son's next to me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And she, walks around. And I was like, actually, you know who that was? And he was like, no. I was like, let's go find Colby. And he goes, wait, why? I'm like, that was Becky, dude. He's just like, oh, okay, let's go. It's like, I'm like, my thing is like, how the fuck they just walk around and don't get bombarded?
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah. It's
when you're on TV weekly, every fucking week.
And I feel for them because they're definitely gonna have like annoying adults come up to them.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Like I've had my time at a show monopolized by like some old guy. And I don't want to say it's like I'm only cool with you if you're a child or like a
right.
But like sometimes like older dudes that want to talk to you, it's not as special.
No.
Sometimes it's like
I agree.
It's not. I don't know why, but I think because things they want to talk to you about can be annoying compared to like a child or a kid, a young fan that's like. Because one, that this is something that's going to stick in their head
forever, dude. You're going to leave this impression.
And, yeah.
It's going to be like everlasting for them.
And then if they are somebody that is aspiring to do what you do, then that's even more powerful.
Yeah.
Some old guy at a show that's like, yeah, I remember when I used to have a mohawk too. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
So I have a story. There's this giant fucking dude named Cypher who works for CSW. And he was like, finally, you know what? We met and talked a little bit. It was like maybe my 3rd or 4th show back with them. And he walked up to me. He goes, hey, man, I just want to let you know, like, I really appreciate your work. My dad used to bring me to AAW shows, and I was always so just into your stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, you hear that, and I'm like, fuck, man, now here you are doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how long I've been doing this shit. Like, full-grown adults are now, dude. Like, they watched me when they were kids.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Awesome. So, like, that kid who walked up to you, he's like, you're my favorite band. Mm-hmm. That fucking kid, say 10 years down the way, runs into you, he's like, hey, man, I got into metal because of you.
Yeah. I can't, like, that would probably make me tear up.
Yeah.
I mean, like even like running in people I haven't seen in forever that I knew when we were kids that will say something like, because I'm sure there's definitely a handful of people that I introduced, either to metal or like other bands, certain bands. And I've had that come back and be like, you're the one that got me into. Remember that day when we were in 9th grade and we smoked a joint in your Jeep and you played that fucking crazy shit for me? It's like my favorite band now, like even that is like, when you had a lasting impression on somebody, it's wild. But then what it becomes, when it's something attached to what you do. Yeah. It's like, oh, fuck.
Dude, like, to me, it's surreal.
Guys, I didn't. First thing you would say, like, as a realism, okay, is you'd be like, you're a fucking loser, right?
You got into this fucking business, you shut up, fucking quit. Look at me, I'm still doing this. I never even made it on TV.
See, I hate that, though. That's the worst.
No.
Of course you don't do it like
No. And I know, but I mean, you've heard it.
Billy Gunn. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You've heard
that. He was a cunt to you guys, for sure.
You've heard old guys say shit to younger
We got about 10 minutes.
You were like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Why would you ever fucking do that?
Yeah.
Like, I remember points when I was a kid and like older guys said shit to me about,
Was it me?
You don't want to fucking know. No. This is one
I told you the
specific.
sky's the limit.
There's one specific guy I know from around here who was still around.
Okay.
Who was like kind of in the media. I won't say who it is because it doesn't matter. But I ran into him outside of a show when I was playing with like Upon the Awakening or something. And this is when me and Ben Stock were trying to do like our. I was trying to learn how to record, and we were doing Path to Reawakening. And I don't know if you remember that show.
The MySpace you guys have been in.
The only good band he and I had together.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this thing that I was trying to do, and this guy was twice my age at the time, for sure, probably older. I was explaining, I was kind of talking about what we were doing, and he's like, "Oh, so you want to do something that nobody's going to listen to?"
What a fucking cunt.
And at the time, I was 18, 19, and I was like, well, yeah, probably.
So he was right.
And I mean, about that project, absolutely, he was right. But fuck him.
Don't fucking shit on some kid's dreams, man. Like, don't do that.
You fucking washed up pile of shit.
Yes,
nobody fucking
you.
remembers the band you were in the fucking 90s. Get the fuck out of here. No. Everybody in Action Province was the shit.
Yeah,
anybody I knew that was in that band has been
Simon
cool.
was like, by the way, you can just jam in my room.
Yeah, Bruce Duncan. Bruce Duncan's my bass father.
He's amazing.
Like,
that's cool.
He's still around, I hope.
Yeah, he was the first one. He was the first older guy to tell me that I was really good and that I had good tone.
Dude, and then when you fucking hear that, you're like, fuck.
Like telling me that I was doing things he couldn't do.
Yeah, he literally walked up and he goes, I can't play with the fuck that kid's playing.
That's funny. That's like, oh shit.
Guess what? You got more of a stage presence than you ever will, because fuck him. I had to give him a compliment. You got to give him a compliment.
I got to buff your egos too.
But like,
you
man,
intense, man.
Like, and I've heard guys say shit. I've heard people
assholes.
like people working at music stores saying that to like younger kids, like, man, like, you should, like, jokingly, right? But you should quit. Don't do it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, not even.
Don't
It's
even.
still
Just
not even
don't.
funny.
Like, let them. Here's my
Let them
thing is.
find out how awful it is on their own.
Or they fucking flourish more than you ever thought they fucking would. You know what I mean? Don't fucking shit on them.
And I tell you why they will. Because this new generation of human doesn't know that you can sit for 8 hours and be bored.
They have no fucking clue.
Hold on. It took Lyndon Ehlers to get to his position in life of boredom, not boredom,
but just constantly just playing
over and over. And that doesn't exist.
No.
What exists is fucking awesomeness. You can just look at shit all the time.
Yeah, so like,
you don't have to fucking do what Lyndon had to do to get to Lyndon's status.
Yeah, which I'm not even. I was never like I never felt like I was disciplined enough as a musician, and I'm, I certainly don't. 14-year-old me would be really disappointed at how I play now, but how I play now makes way more sense, is way more practical, and
it's the same with me. Like, if I look back at like when I was fucking in my 20s and all the stupid shit I was doing, and then like I looked forward and like, that's how I fucking work now?
Yeah.
God, quit.
Yeah.
But like, it's more logical because I'm evolving, and I feel like my storytelling is so much better because of it.
When you were just starting out in that, or music, or any kind of creative thing, especially something you perform live, when you're a kid, you are not even aware of the other things you're going to have to know how to do.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like when I was 15, when I was getting really obsessed with being in a band and having dreams about it, and making plans about how our live shows were going to go, even though I'd never played a live show. Like, I would have never thought, like, oh, you have to wear like ear monitors, otherwise you're not going to be able to hear anything, and you have to sorry, bro, you can't wear that big giant spiky guitar strap because it's going to get all your cords tangled up and and
the visual of it,
dude,
right?
I cut my hair because of that same reason.
Yeah.
Like, it was getting in the way of my fucking monitors, and some people can handle that. I couldn't deal with it, so I was just like, I would rather be a performer than have long hair.
Be honest, you were sick and tired of pulling your long hair out of your asshole.
That didn't really bother me as much.
Ben fucking
I also slept with my hair tied back. I feel like that makes a huge
shit,
difference.
yeah.
But like,
probably did. But
I don't know, man. Like,
Just the small things of
the
like,
little things.
like you know, when you're like thinking about like performing live, like you said, like all that, like the aesthetic of like the way it's gonna look, and like it's not. You're not going to be able to move with that. You know what I mean? You can't move with that shit.
Like I think about all these times when I was younger and I saw bands play and I'd be like, why the fuck aren't they moving around? You know,
it's because they can't.
Yeah. Well, no. There are certainly obviously there are situations where you look at a band and go, motherfuckers, you need to work.
Yeah.
Like y'all need to perform. Like, okay, you're not just, and that comes, you know, that comes with experience.
Oh, trust me. So I have no YouTube videos where I don't work.
So I have a example of this in a way. I've always thought of like, you know, certain singers who like do, especially power metal.
Yeah.
Like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Like Tim Ripper Owens, like if you watch like when he was with Judas Priest, he barely moves on stage.
Yeah.
But his fucking voice is so fucking powerful. Like that's all of his work.
And I was gonna say, there are plenty of times where it makes sense.
Yeah.
When I saw Incantation play it at Wildwood stage, if you have a lot of stuff on stage, can get narrow.
Like we set
shallow.
up,
shallow.
we set up this the ring announcers and like they do the live commentary. Yeah. It's on the stage, and we would do spots up there. Like realistically, with just the table and them sitting there, that alone has created very little space. Yeah. Like if you have a lot of shit,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But to speak on how fucking legendary Incantation is, that vocalist / bassist, it was going from side to side on that stage with like this table of space, and he's stepping over chords, not even like giving a fuck. Yeah. Just, and this guy is like in his 50s, you know.
Yo, dude, just
like man, I love watching that shit and going like, oh man, I am still not shit. I still have so much shit to do.
So like
sometimes comparison is the thief of joy.
Sometimes it's good though.
But
it is good.
It's great.
That's great.
Right. I think that obviously, we're nearing the end.
Yeah.
Here we have.
Yeah.
But I feel like the whole conversation now is basically saying that you need to persevere. And I hate to say it, one of the best albums ever is called
Perseverance.
And it's still
Dude,
good.
I was in I was like a tough guy hardcore kick like all weekend.
I started listening to Kublai Khan. I never listened to Kublai Khan more than like 2 minutes.
I seen it. That's why I did some Perseverance jokes. Perseverance. Listen to the new Pitbull.
Yeah, we just released the new single.
Literally do a hardcore breakdown, and it's fucking phenomenal. I was like, what band is this?
We were in funny story, just real quick. We had Frontal Assault over. Also, a huge shout out to Frontal Assault. Those dudes are absolutely killing it, and that's a really good example of fucking young kids.
Yeah, dude, for real.
That fucking just said fuck it.
Yeah.
You know? And we did. Right. Everybody in the scene did what they could to like push them forward, and they did so much of the work themselves. Or
but that's like asking, sorry. You know? So like you give them like a boost, and then they just go fuck it. I'm running.
They just run with it. And I mean they've already done more runs than we have as a band.
That's awesome.
But we had them over. They recorded an audio sketch for our new EP that's coming out soon, and that we had them listen to Baby Griller before we released it. And,
Jesus.
And I've always been kind of anti.
By the way, Baby Griller. You said Jesus. My girl goes, what the fuck's that mean? And then I go, well, no, it seems like they're saying like a baby griller.
It's a song
like
about small tailgater grills.
Yeah,
it's not about grilling a baby.
No, she actually. Sorry, I juxtapose. I thought it was about you, baby grill, and she goes, no, I fucked that up. I got a fucking buzz, you bitch.
Anyway, I gotta finish this real quick. Go ahead. So I've always been anti crowd killing. You know,
right.
I'm not a huge hardcore guy. I don't go to hardcore shows, so I don't deal with that as much.
Right.
My real stance is that you do what you want to do at that kind of a show, and I'm going to stand where I need to because that's that kind of a show, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get kicked in the fucking face.
I know where to not get kicked in the face, but that breakdown hits, and fucking Anthony Thomas in Frontal Assault goes, bro. You can't be anti-crowd killing and write fucking riffs like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I accept. Crowd killing is officially allowed at Pit Lord shows.
So this reminds me of a story of one time I went and saw fucking Logan, and he just jumps off stage and knees me right in the back of the fucking head. Like,
We told this story 3 times, but yes.
but still, like, crowd killing. Dude, all right, so I was on a show with Ray Rowe, who's a real fucking hardcore kid. All right, so now he's in WWE, he's in like a Vikings group.
Yeah.
So anyways, he was a hardcore guy, like fucking bad motherfucker. In like real life, I think he could kill people. So anyways, he's like, bro, I crowd run. I go, what?
Oh.
He jumps off stage and runs on people. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, what? You fucking run on them?
I think that's something that was born at Dillinger shows.
Well, probably.
For
Fucking
sure
makes
it was.
sense.
That seems like big dickhead in the crowd. I don't like that.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to
Hey,
get.
by the way,
my
the only
face
reason
stepped
why I
on.
did that in the back, I thought I was actually not going to hit anybody. You just got unlucky. I'm dead serious. I didn't think
I feel
was
like
gonna hit nobody.
I just like popped my head up at the last second.
I swear to God, like a goddamn tortoise.
Hey, you didn't know your spot, you fucking mark.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and, well, you already did your shows,
Well,
Lance.
so if you-
Go ahead and do you got it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you can go
load up
to
your shows. Sugar.
go to Pit Lord Facebook or follow us on TikTok. We do a lot of stuff on TikTok, and that's where you'll find all the show dates.
All right,
Well,
so
also look at wrestling.with musicandlife.com. I have been updating as much as possible. I will update tomorrow all these people's shows. It'll be on the first part of wrestling.musicandlife.com because we're putting brothers over and sisters over. I hope there's more sisters. Can we get a sister? We'll see.
I am going to talk to. I'm going to talk to trying to get Heather Reckless in for an interview, maybe.
My goodness.
And, like,
Next
get her-
episode's episode 50. We said a long time ago, Lyndon actually said this, we have to get destroyed and that he was going to get his girl to pick him up.
Oh
If
shit!
we can do that
I
next
lived a lot
weekend-
closer.
Hey, listen,
than
listen, if we can do that,
I
hopefully
mean,
on
I'm
a
more than
Saturday.
happy to get
Saturday
lit up
would-
in one way or another.
Saturday
Right,
would
right.
be nice to do that. I know bro already said, a bunch of people said they wanted to be on episode 50.
Yeah.
So
and-
all right, so next Saturday I'm open.
Okay, and again, you're talking about a nightmare for me because I have 15 microphones. I have 5 microphones.
Next, I mean, I'll work till 5, but then I'll be good.
All right, so
Saturday?
I'm not gonna miss 50. I can't.
no, we can't. But like,
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put over like a fucking huge deal for me and the next show I'm on. That's it. And then everything else, if we do another show, I'll put over my other stuff.
Do it, Bob.
So next Friday
It's on the website.
is AAW's 20th anniversary, which is fucking awesome. So I'm one of a very few select guys that are considered the Triple Crown. I've held every belt you can for that company as a man.
Nice.
So, and held the heavyweight championship twice. So I'm going to go do, out of nowhere, Danny hits me up. He's like, hey, man, I need you to please make this show. And I'll put you in a 4-way. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Make it easy. That's fine. And little did I know, it's for the number 1 contendership for their belt. I'm like, what the fuck, Dan? What are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's like, but like the match is stacked. Like I've only worked with Joey Avalon, who's fucking amazing. He's great. So like Beef is this guy. He's this young kid. Another guy walked up to me and goes, Shug, man, I used to watch your stuff, when I was breaking in, man. Like, it's awesome. Again, like stuff like that, like rolls over.
Right.
And here I am about to work with this kid, and I think he's fucking great. He hits the ropes like old school 80s wrestlers hit ropes.
Nice.
It's like, I fucking dig it. I put him over. I'm like, the way you move, bros, brother. It's like so good. And like, anyways, I get to work with him. And then Mike Bennett, who used to be in WWE, and he's married to, it's escaping my head. Anyways, apparently he's a bad motherfucker in the ring, and he's all about like what we do, putting over brothers and sisters.
Right.
Like that's all he wants to do, but then still look good at the same time. I'm like, I'm just jazzed that I got put in this position for this match. I'm like, for the 20th anniversary for AEW. When I was working there in front of like, I was 17, like still in high school wrestling for that company. Like, And it was like just really like Colby was a nobody at that point. Like Colby he was doing IWA, but then he would do AAW because Danny was running it.
Yeah.
So like that company is now the biggest fucking independent company in the Midwest. If you want to be somewhere, it's AAW.
I find anybody I hear that watches wrestling, they always mention AEW. Like it's like, and I honestly forget that.
No, AEW or AAW. AEW is like that other.
Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
he said in the beginning he was talking about AEW, aka Tony Khan.
Yeah,
which by the way is like not that far of a stretch that Shug could get on that. He knows a lot of people.
I know a lot of those guys too.
Wouldn't be that far a stretch if they need a pit lord
or somebody who could write entrance music.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, dude!
That'd be all Dan.
This whole time,
you and I would fuck that up.
Oh, okay. When this is over, I want to play something for you guys.
Okay,
but it's fine. All right, so yeah. Shit, where were we? Fuck, my brain's like.
Oh, good.
Shows.
Oh yeah. Live episode 49, and we're gonna.
We'll cut it. We're good. Let's put it over the AEW 20th anniversary.
Ask you guys one question. Are you going to, as Wrestling with Music and Life fans, look at us and do more better? Probably not. But if you do like what we do, just like and subscribe. It's not that hard. And on top of that, the 60 to 100 of you, which is insane to me.
That's cool.
I don't even know 60 or 100 people, I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe I do. But let me just say this. You can check out wrestlingwithmusicandlife.com because we are literally putting over their shows. So if you're like, where are these guys' shows and I love them so much, guess what? Wrestlingwithmusicandlife.com. It's going to be amazing. I want to say this also at the end of this. I am the Scat Man.
Oh wow, I can't believe you remembered that part. I was like, what the fuck?